Hello, friends. I'm so glad that you joined with us today. I hope you're enjoying this incredibly warm weather that we're having. But if I know anything about Dallas, it may change by the time that you actually listen to this. Hopefully not, though. Hey, we're so glad to have Darren in the studio. So, hey, Darren, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. Thank you, Clay.
So glad to have you today.
Well, it's good to be here.
So
Thanks
you're married?
I am married. I'm married to Corey Harland, and she works at the district office of the Assemblies of God in Maypearl, and she's worked there for quite a number of years.
No, most people don't even know where Maypearl is, brother.
That's right. Most people know me as Corey's husband, so it's nice to be introduced as Darren Harland today. So, yeah, it's a nice change.
For those who don't know where Maypearl is, it's not too far from Waxahachie.
That's right.
And for those who don't know where Waxahachie is, it's south of Dallas, maybe 40 miles. I don't know.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
so,
right. Yeah.
You have children?
Community. I do. I have one daughter, Isabel Harland. Actually, she just got married in August, so now she's Isabel Osborne.
Congratulations.
Yeah, her and her husband, Andre, are attending Nelson University in Waxahachie. So we spend a lot of time down there.
And money.
And money. Yep. So they're both in university there studying psychology. So, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So where are you from?
I am actually from just outside of Tulsa, in Oklahoma. It's a town called Broken Arrow.
Oh, I know that. Mm-hmm.
Yep. And grew up there. My parents still attend the Assemblies of God church that they met in. So
which church?
It used to be called Broken Arrow Assembly of God.
Yeah.
Now it's called just the Assembly.
Ron
Woods.
Woods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I've known Ron for. As a matter of fact, get this, his brother helped us start Metro back in the day.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So Ron's awesome, man.
Wow. Yeah. It's a really big church now. It's really gotten really big. It's quite a big church. But I'm originally from there, graduated from Broken Arrow High School. After high school, I spent a few years going to junior college, and then I attended Master's Commission out of Phoenix. Tommy Barnett's church.
No way.
Yeah.
Pastor Tommy is my hero, brother.
Yeah. My one of my fondest memories was going before Matthew took his church. We went to a movie together and hung out a little bit, so that was fun getting to know him. But I did that for a year, and then I got my bachelor's degree at Southwestern, but now it's Nelson University, and got my degree in bachelor's degree in church ministries, and worked in a church setting for probably 12, 13 years. Children's pastor, senior adult pastor, and then felt like I needed to make a change. Still wanted to do ministry, and found a few friends that had were chaplains in hospice ministry, and so that's how I got connected, and have been doing it for now about 12, 13 years. Yeah.
So Lloyd was doing Master's Commission when you were there?
He was, yeah, he was.
I remember the first time I went to pastor school, it was in the late 80s, and I had heard about Pastor Tommy back to the Davenport days,
Okay.
And so he came, J. Don George used to have a conference here. Of course, him and Pastor Tommy were, college buddies. And so he was, Pastor Tommy was a guest speaker at this conference, and I heard him, and I went, man, this guy's wired. And so I thought, and I listened to what they were doing. Both had been doing it at Davenport, and now we're implementing there in Phoenix. And so Pastor Greg Headley was at that conference too, and so he said, we need to check this guy out. And so went to Pastor Tommy's pastor school, and I quickly figured out they do church a little differently than everybody else.
They do.
And
they do.
I remember on Tuesday night, he used to do the illustrated sermons and send everybody out on the buses and bring the people in. And I don't know how many people responded to the altar call, but it was hundreds, brother.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anything like that before. And so it changed my attitude about church. Most churches, church is about us.
Right.
whereas with Pastor Tommy, the church is about the lost, reaching the lost. So,
absolutely.
So to have that in your DNA, brother, that's pretty powerful.
Yeah. We actually had a young lady that came to our church when I was in high school that had graduated from Master's Commission and kind of implemented some of that DNA within our church, reaching out to communities. And then once I experienced Master's Commission, we had a bus route every Saturday that we would go to. And then after me and my wife graduated, we first went to the inner city of Houston and helped a pastor friend of ours help plant a church there. And then we were there for 2 years. Reaching out to, the same kind of philosophy, just reaching people on the street, reaching people in the community, and having outreaches and everything like that. So my teeth have always been cut on, kind of that reaching out to those that need help. Just kind of always had that bent in ministry to those that can't help themselves. Yeah.
Well, at this stage in life, it really hasn't changed too much. Audience is a little different, but
true.
I became acquainted with you 6 years ago. We were struggling with proper care for Barbara, and Pastor Greg Headley and Ed Frazier said they wanted to go to lunch with me, and I went, oh, okay.
What did I do?
Yeah, I went, oh, okay, where is this going? And so they basically said, you're killing yourself trying to take care of your wife. I went, I'm doing the best I can. I said, but I'm really drowning. Yeah. And we had brought in our primary doctor, who was a great guy, but he sent in all this healthcare people, and they kept trying to train Barbara, kind of retrain her, how to just do basic stuff. And rather, when you have dementia, that's
yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, that. Yeah. I would tell myself that dog doesn't hunt. Okay, that's
exactly.
And so I actually had called my primary doctor. I said, after 3 different health services, I went, don't send anybody else. I said, these people are making things worse for me. And I have always been a proponent of hospice care. Mm-hmm. Because I knew they did something that I couldn't do, like what you do, mm-hmm. I can't do. Because you're going to be at the tail. All your clients you're going to get to say goodbye to them. Every single one of them,
Absolutely.
So it takes a special person to be able to do that. And so what I didn't know about hospice is that hospice can be long-term care.
Absolutely.
Which mm-hmm. That was totally different. I mean, so there are people today they're in the same boat that I was in.
Yeah.
You're.
Mm-hmm. We're all going to be in that boat someday.
Unless Jesus comes back,
that's
brother.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
So it's kind of like retirement. I was talking to somebody about retirement today. They don't want to talk about retirement. I went, you know what? You might want to plan for that because it's coming, okay?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Well, end of life, unless Jesus comes. There was one exception. It was Enoch, and I've asked the Lord. I went, hey, Enoch way. That has some appeal to it, right?
To take that route.
Yeah, no sickness.
Exactly.
You walking with the Lord, and then Enoch was no more. So. But I get for the rest of us, should he tarry, it's probably not the way it's going to end.
Right.
And so Pastor Headley knew you.
Mm-hmm.
He knew of your company, and you were very gracious and began talking to me, walking through this, going, look, you don't have to do this on your own.
Right. Right.
There are organizations out there that can help you long term. So what's the aim of your company?
Yeah, the aim of our company is to provide care to people. So when someone gets a diagnosis of 6 months or less from a doctor, he will give them basically an order to come on hospice care. And when we say 6 months or less, that's if the general prognosis and the disease process takes its normal route. So sometimes you may have, or a family member may have Alzheimer's, dementia, cancer, Parkinson's, whatever it is, but they're not in that 6-month window. They could be a year to 2 years out. But our doctors and our nurses look for certain markers that will qualify a person to come on hospice care. And so once a doctor says that it's, that a loved one has met that point where he feels like hospice would be a benefit for them, he writes an order, and usually he'll have a contact with a hospice company that he's worked with. But just know a little bit about hospice is that, once you do get that recommendations, there's hundreds of hospice companies in the Dallas, especially Fort Worth area, the DFW area. And so my recommendation, of course, right now I work for a company that's located in North Richland Hills called Freedom Hospice, but there's tons of companies. And what I would suggest to a family member is to make sure you do your homework. Call a few, make sure that you have the right fit, kind of that you are gelling with, the company's goal and mission. But then once that decision is made, then you will be assigned basically 4 people on your team. There will be a nurse assistant that will help with bathing and cleaning and changing for the day, and then a social worker helping with any kind of military benefits, walking you through funeral preparation, and then a chaplain, which what I am, and then we provide spiritual support to families. If they have a church that's supporting them, then we just come alongside them. We can provide extra visits with, going to them and reading scripture or praying or playing music for them. And then our social workers, some of our social workers even have like pet therapy. They'll have a dog that they can bring and just bring comfort. So the whole goal is to what time God has given our loved one left. It's not our goal to speed things up or to slow things down. It's whatever time God has is to make them as comfortable through medicine, through therapy, so they can enjoy the remainder of their time that God has for them here.
I immediately, when you talked about the chaplain concept and coming along beside the chaplain that we had, the Lord sent somebody that I didn't know him, but we had connections. He knew somebody that I knew, and so we automatically connected. And one of the things that Barbara liked to do was sing. And the first thing that she lost was she couldn't remember words to music, and then eventually she couldn't remember tunes either. But that gentleman would come and he would visit with Barbara. Knew her church background, and he would sing the old hymns to Barbara, and most of the time she would sing along. I mean, it's amazing. It was precious time, brother.
Yeah. I don't know what it is, but there's something in the brain in an area where the music stays or is stored that I've had patients that can't communicate a word. They can't say anything, but as soon as I play a song on my phone and start singing along with it, they know every word to it. And I don't know what it is, but music therapy can be so healing and so comforting during that time. So you're right. The words for music just seem to stay longer than other memories.
Yeah. I asked you to come today because I know the stigma out there about hospice. I've even heard people say stuff. Good meaning people.
Sure.
They hear that word. It's almost hospice can be like the word cancer, because when we hear the word cancer, we think, the end's here, right? Right. Somehow, someone would like for us to not think of hospice as the end.
Correct.
It's not. We all know that cancer is not a death sentence.
Right.
It probably will be a change of life, but not necessarily end of life, right?
Right.
My goal today, because I deal with this all the time. People, they think when they hear the word hospice that we've given up on their loved one. No, it's not about giving up. It's about getting you the proper care, not just that your loved one needs, but that you need.
Absolutely.
Which is why I got involved in hospice, is because Barbara, her condition, even though it was declining, it wasn't that things were changing for her; it was changing for me.
Sure, absolutely.
Because
Yeah.
I couldn't take care of her, even and those that know us know that my son, my son's in the studio today, not normally here. Chris, most of the people know Chris Kraft with Full Circle Studios. Hey, Chris, how you doing, brother? He's the one that makes this happen.
Makes it all happen.
Yeah, he does. And so he was playing hooky today, except now he's not. And so we have two people making sure that we're getting this done right today. But my son built a tiny house for us so that we could continue to take care of Mom.
Wow, that's amazing.
At home.
That's
and,
amazing.
We built it right next door to my daughter's house. My daughter worked from home,
Wow.
so she could come over and help. But even with me living next door, wasn't enough.
Sure.
So that's where hospice came in, and the organization. And I had no problem advertising these people, Heart to Heart,
Yep.
which is who you recommended
Mm-hmm.
to us. They're heroes, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody that was involved, the nurse that came out every day, never met a sweeter lady. Some days were not good days
Absolutely.
for Barbara. And so I actually would meet this lady at the door, and I go, that's not Barbara that's sitting there right there. Okay, right?
Right.
Today's not a good day. And she came in, took care of Barbara, and when she walked out the door, she always told Barbara, she says, I love you, Barbara, and I'll be back tomorrow.
Oh.
Even though it wasn't the best experience. And the nurse that came by regularly, the RN nurse, she was incredible, man. Made sure that the meds, we were getting the right meds. Barbara was taking the right medicine. Did there need to be any adjustments in the meds? And those folks were with us, was it like a year and a half, Brent? It's a long time.
Yeah.
And I mentioned to you about the chaplain that came by every month and seen us. And so what would you tell people today? They're in the same boat
Sure.
that I'm in, or I was in,
Mm-hmm.
Encouraging a brother that what a blessing hospice could be to not just to their loved one, but to them.
Yeah, and Clay, first of all, thank you for sharing your story. I mean, I know it's still, it's been several years, but it's still close to the heart. And thank you for, just you sharing your story can help, other people along the way. And, hospice did have that stigma when it first was created that it was a death sentence. But it's developed into more of a medical word called palliative care, which just basically means comfort measures. We're there to bring comfort to our loved ones during this time. And so through the different fields and folks that come through, we provide, medical, spiritual, social care. But we also not only care for the patient, but we want to care for the family
Absolutely.
as well.
Yeah.
Because there is such a thing as caregiver burnout,
Yep.
where you've tried your best, you've done your best, but you're at your
it's not getting it done.
you're at your wit's end.
Yep.
And so, we even have things within hospice care called respite care, where, a weekend or a week that we can have a contract with a facility, whether it's assisted living or a memory care facility, and we can have your loved one come and be with the folks there at whatever facility it is. That way that if you needed to take a couple days off or you needed to travel and just to kind of clear your head, we provide that as well. So our families can take, advantage of that. So, I would just say, if you have, a family member that is coming up on end-of-life issues or something to even think about, that, that hospice is now more of just what we call palliative care. It's to bring comfort through medicine and through different vehicles that families can live out their lives to the best of their ability for the remainder days. I was actually, Clay, watching a show on National Geographic the other day, and there was a documentary. Well, part of the documentary was they were going up into the Himalayan mountains, and part of it was they saw some monks up there. And the whole preface of the show was to find out what life is, what brings happiness to life. And the guy that was doing the interview with the different monks, he was saying that monks, the first thing that they have to answer is to bring happiness and peacefulness in life is to think about your day of death. And I'd never thought about it like that, but they went on to talk about how they want people to think about it that way, that you start to get rid of things in your life that aren't important. That way that you major on the majors, not on the minors, and that you live your life to the fullest. Because sometimes in America, we're not the best at grieving. In other countries, you hear about the wailing and gnashing of teeth, and they'll set aside days and weeks for grieving. And sometimes I think as Americans, we want to push it aside because we don't want to deal with it. But some of the different cultures in our world, they confront the question. And dealing in ministry, when you have things in your life that, whether it's anxiety or depression or alcohol or drugs, if you don't deal with those things, they can come up and bite you. But you've got to hit those things head on, even though it's very scary. And so death can be, a scary situation. But what the monk was saying was that if you can address those and confront it, that you'll live your life to a more fuller and a better life.
Amen. I agree with that. The word that I like to use for hospice is holistic. It's a holistic approach, not just for the patient, but for the family.
Right.
And
right.
I would encourage people, if you're facing that crisis, getting stronger is not the answer. Okay.
Correct. Yes.
It's like you can get out by yourself is not the answer.
And sometimes the hardest part is asking for help.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
It becomes suck it up. You can get it done.
Right.
Maybe not.
Right.
Maybe not. So
yes, exactly. So there does going to come a time in all of our lives where we are going to have to cross that bridge, and we try to get our families that come on. We do assessments with each one of our fields, and we try to get them to make those decisions early, like as far as what the memorial service might look like. Not every detail, but just even like maybe cremation or traditional bury. What. Is there a family funeral home that you use? That way, when the time comes for when your loved one is facing the end of life, you don't have to deal with those because you have all that pressure on finding that already taken care of. You can focus on loving your mom. You can focus on loving your wife or your dad.
Anytime you make emotional decisions, they're normally wrong.
Absolutely.
And so you make those things while you're thinking clearly. And I'm so glad that you can. Hey, let me give a verse. Every week, we know there's a group of people that this is today's topic's really going to hit on. And this one here, maybe it's because it's so close to me, and I have had to walk other people through the same, opportunities. Psalms chapter 55, verse 22. It says, "Give your burdens to the Lord, and He will take care of you. He will not permit the godly to slip and fall." I think for people, I would say a couple of things. First off, we don't have to carry this by ourselves.
Absolutely.
And I believe the Lord is the one that has ordained hospice care that will help the patient and help the family. So that that family member can end their life in dignity instead of strife and turmoil and lack of proper care. Other family members giving you a hard time because you're not doing your best or or why don't you quit your job so that you can take care of mom, or just guilt stuff like that. That's
sure. And the hospice team can even be an advocate for you to help you, give you information of how to deal with family, as well too, that you are, and encouraging you that you're doing the right thing, because they do this every day. And so they can give you that advice, even dealing with family. Absolutely.
Well, I commend you, brother.
Well,
thank you for you're doing something that I couldn't do. I'm not wired that way, and I am deeply grateful for the care that hospice gave to my little bride.
Absolutely.
Hey, we have a really big date coming up for us, March the 14th, Saturday, March 14th, 1 p.m., groundbreaking.
Excellent. For
our new facilities, and people can go to our webpage. We'll talk about that just in a minute. But of our dream of building these new long-term facilities for Metro, and our goal to do this absolutely debt-free. The people that are watching today, why should they partner with us?
Yeah, Clay, I think that's an important question. I kind of want to take it maybe from a different vantage point, that, in what we're talking about today, hospice care and end-of-life issues, that, there's some people that the Lord has blessed them with finances, and, this may be something Dallas Metro be a part of, their legacy that they leave, financially blessing. I know my grandma recently passed away, and before she did, several years before, she left my mom and my uncle part of their inheritance early, because she wanted to see them enjoy it. And so, there may be some people out there that have set aside some money for what they're going to do at their end of their life. I would just maybe even encourage some people to go ahead and give now, to see the God-given dream of reaching people of Dallas for His kingdom. I mean, that's what it's all about, So if there's someone that, says, I want to see them get to this point and see it debt-free before I pass. Maybe they could give a substantial gift. Or maybe there's someone that says, I need to hold on to it, see how things go. Maybe, at the end of their life, they could put in that they want to give to Dallas Metro, because it's a ministry that's been here, and it's going to continue to be here, and it's a valid God-appointed ministry that, you've been blessed. And I know you talk about success in ministry is being there. And so, I would just encourage some people maybe listening to think about their end of their life and how they can leave a legacy. And I think, a great ministry to invest in would be Dallas Metro, to see them meet their dreams so that others can come to know Christ.
Thank you, brother.
Yep.
So glad you're here today. Thanks for helping us with hospice, brother. I'm very grateful for you.
Absolutely. And just know I'm a resource. If you have viewers that need anything, they can reach out to you, and you know how to get a hold of me. Okay. So whatever that looks like.
He said something, friends, that really struck a chord with me. I want to see this dream happen. I really do. I'm actually okay if I don't. I'm not Moses. Wish I was. The talking to God part, I wish I was, not dealing with the people. I mean, can you imagine having 1 million people complaining to you after God continually provided, right? But I'm not Moses. And Moses didn't get to see the promised land, and he was okay with this. And this isn't the promised land. It's just a dream that the Lord laid on Barbara and I's heart. And as Darren mentioned, 38 years, that's a lifetime of investing, and I'm so committed to this next generation not having a debt. Hey, we're doing this groundbreaking on March 14th by faith, and I would encourage you to come that day. We're meeting. The Lighthouse has provided us land right next door to them. The address is 5525 West Illinois. In Dallas. Once again, you can go to the webpage. The information on the groundbreaking's on there. Would you go down there to the bottom where it says All In, click on All In, and then would you prayerfully consider, as Darren mentioned, maybe you're like me. There's less days ahead than there are behind. Or another way of looking at it, there's not a lot of sand left in that hourglass, and maybe you would consider blessing us today with what the Lord has blessed you with. It would just prayerfully consider making a donation today. You'll be investing in the next generation, and I believe in that God will He'll bless you and your family for doing it. Hey, thanks for turning in today. Hope to see you next week. God bless you, friends. Bye-bye.